Hey, what's up? Welcome to another program that we are running at Chronicle. Today we're at Hartsfield Chisanyama. We're speaking to Mdue Mdlongwa, director of 3D. The guy who has been entertaining us for I don't know how many years now.
I think we can safely say 10.
10 years.
Yeah.
10
or
years.
So people owe me.
You owe you.
Which I thanks for making us dance.
Okay, nice one. So we just want to find out a bit about him, what makes him tick.
Yeah.
Maybe you can start off with asking, who is Mdue?
Yeah, well, like they're saying, Mdue Mdlongwa, aka Mdue Mdlongwa, the rocking guy. I got that one from this other gangster because of the events that happened to him. Yeah, to my point, I said, I found a rocker, the rocking guy. And I messed up on it. It was a long time ago. Yeah, Togozan. And then
Togozan, Divine House.
Okay. Yeah, it's somewhere apart. So basically, Mdue grew up in Kulumane. I was raised by my single mom, who was a pastor. Hence, she got married, of course. I had a stepdad, but I come from a very strong Christian background. When my family basically got a panel of pastors and deacons and musicians and all. So into a musically, I think basically it's from the Mdlongwa side, per se. It has always followed me up, in such a scholar. But Mdue grew up in Kulumane. I went to Amavene Primary School. Thank God I was a good boy. I was the head boy there. Okay. And then grade 7. Then I went to Milton High School.
PT like men.
Yeah, strong. It was tough times then. And Milton, yeah. And then I did my O's, and then I went to a poly, and then I did hotel management, and then I had my holiday in, which is where I found my passion, this food industry. But not as a front office until this other lady invited me to join the banqueting department.
Who was that?
Top number 2.
Okay.
Yeah, she was the banqueting manager. I had no clue, that's where my passion would be, She used to come by, front office would be like, well, I'm telling you, banqueting will do so well. And I'll be thinking, I'm a front office guy, banqueting. And then one time she said there's an opening, you should apply and come through. And then I did apply, I went there. And then that's where I found my passion, I found that I like organizing events, I like putting things together. And that's how it started. So I was there, I went there holiday for 5 years.
What's your
I think it was 2003, I think. Yeah. I'm very old. Very old, yeah. So, and then, I left Holiday Inn to start up my own thing, which was an events company. Before then, I used to work with my cousin, Old Master. So he's the one who actually came with this old drive. I owe it to him as well. He's the one that the higher drive when it comes to the promotion side. So he came with an idea that we could just do a show. DJ Club was hot at that time.
This is 2003. 2001.
Later, I can't say, I'm at dates. It was
just a year.
Yeah, it was the early times when we were starting to do this thing. 2011, I think so. Somewhere there. Yeah. We did DJ Club. I didn't make people records and pick it up and choreograph it somehow. I said we did DJ Club So basically Mdue is a young man who comes from a Christian background, and he did his school where Milton, and he went to school, was and then he started his own thing.
Okay.
So I started, and then we did DJ Club, and then we went our separate ways. That's when we pioneered 3D events, then birthed the Hartsfield Chisanyama.
Okay.
which is where I am.
So from your first show, DJ Pro, did you know everything or anything that you were doing?
We did not know anything. We just thought you can bring someone, you know, and they just fly in, they do the show, they go back. But unfortunately, it's not how it is. This is the first time that we met that there is the National Arts Council, there is this Zinhle, there is the censorship board, there is immigration.
So you flew in?
We flew him in, and it was cheap at that time.
Yeah.
I think we paid like 7,000
Right.
for DJ Clock. Yeah. And you know, everything felt like, you know, this is just a way of cashing in. It was an afternoon event.
Okay.
Yeah, we put some lights around close to the dam. Really
Nice.
wanted to get a nice feel. And we didn't even advertise the way we become so aggressive in advertising. That day I think we printed, we used the cloth and we wrote DJ Clock, and then we just put in a few corners in town. And yeah, somebody was starting, and we met a guy called Nyando for the first time. William. He was telling us that you guys are not having this show. Hey, says Mdue Mdlongwa. Now being told about how much taxes that we're supposed to pay, somebody fire. But Nyando was lenient enough. He told us that we can always process the paperwork after the event, and he allowed DJ Clock to actually come in and perform.
Okay.
Yeah, so on Monday that's when we went to the office and processed, and you had to pay.
So
there was a fine.
There was a fine?
Yeah.
What was the fine?
I was up with by then how much it was. But I remember I swiped.
You swiped?
There was a fine. They had to be a fine.
So when you registered as an entertainment company or a promotional company?
Yeah, 3D Events is actually a company on its own.
Okay.
But when it comes to promotions, we work with the Exmo.
Or Exmo Squad?
Yeah,
Okay.
because we realized that we would rather have one person who does the clearances as a promoter. It's easier than for us to be 5 or 6, whereas you do not so many events. So what's the point? Because I think you need to pay about $300 renewal every year, the National Arts Council. But at the same time, you need to also submit your papers to Zinhle.
Okay.
So that whole process is easy when it's being held by a certain, Then for you guys to also do the same at the same time, maybe you might do just 2 or so events. So what's the point?
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you was at Maverick, what type of pupil or student was he?
I was a Christian. I was a good boy. Because I grew up without a father, hence my name. My mom used to tell me that I'm not supposed to be a problem.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be a comforter. I'm supposed to be a person of good morals. So I was like that. I grew up loving people. Maybe that's the reason why I even do events, because I enjoy seeing people coming together, having a good time. Yeah, so that was how it was. Maybe that's why I became a prefect when I was in grade 3. Yeah,
You were a prefect.
yeah, prefect grade 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay.
So when I was one of those boys, that's why it's to answer the other questions that people have always been asking, why should I drink? It's where it's starting from.
Okay.
Yeah, it starts from there. That's why I don't drink up to now. Really, I was brought up as that way. You know, it has to do good.
But it's very confusing for you to be organizing all these shows that we have seen over the years, then you don't even touch liquor.
Yeah, true. A lot of people they always ask that very same question. But I think my drive is in organizing more and the business side of it. I enjoy that more than. I think alcohol has never really been part of my story, to be honest. I've never really had an interest. Even when I was being operating in holiday, I used to have a drawer where they used to stock up alcohol. No temptations or whatsoever.
So you've never tasted it yet?
I've never. It's just not my thing. I don't want to taste it. I don't know what will happen. I think I've got serious strong habits. I might have a problem.
Okay.
So maybe I think we should just keep it there.
At Milton High,
Yeah.
maybe for those at Milton, which teacher do you remember, or teachers that maybe were an impact in your life?
My Chakaf, the one who used to teach literature.
Okay.
She was more like a mother. That lady would scold you, know, and follow up. I heard she passed on so sad, but yeah, I remember my Chakaf. She used to teach us English and English literature. Yeah, I remember that one. And then there was also science, chemistry. That was also a good man.
Okay.
You know, you used to just follow people and make sure that you can understand. I think those are the two that I remember. Of course, the Tom Boulevard.
Well, penguin.
With this brown. Exactly. You remember? His coffee pants or brown that never used to change. Yeah, I remember those. Yeah,
Did you play sport?
no, I didn't. Actually, I was with Scripture Union, and I had an office which was direct opposite TVs, and I used to be one of those people. I was the Scripture Union president when I was in Form 4, so and I used to bring people to pray against divisions. I know that I'm one of those people now who want to take over divisions. Yeah. I used to pray. I used to tell the guys that you pray against all these people that are coming to that bar. I just feel that direct opposite. And shockingly, I tell I'm also one of those who are protesting, who are trying to get that business. Open divisions. Actually, I don't even want to change the name. So we change vision. Oh my God.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I did. For Scripture Union, I never really played sports. Yeah.
Okay. So going back to the entertainment scene, you spoke about hosting DJ Clock. Your first show was on DJ Zinhle.
Yeah, official. But unfortunately, still, by then we were trying to do budgets, and we didn't have. To be honest, anyone wants to get into this business, you should know that it's not easy. Hosting an event, it requires a lot of money. So we realized our budget. So Horizon Management, they only gave us the gate, and they wanted a share from the gate. So we're sharing 50-50. And then we went on to do our own budget as well. And we realized that the only way that we can salvage something is for us not to pay the clearance and try and sneak in the artist again and have the artist to perform. Maybe we'll get something. So funny enough, no one even came to us to tell us that you guys need to clear and whatnot, but we did advertise the show. The hype grew in the city. The day when Zinhle was flying in, Tiago, the owner of Horizon, had gone to pick up his wife as well. She was in the same flight with Zinhle.
Okay, nice.
And then, so she was now asking the immigration people and stuff like that, saying, I'm also expecting an artist. She's also coming in. And then that's when they told him, we are waiting for this artist. The moment she lands, she's going back because these people didn't clear. Tiago used to sway. I was having a haircut thinking, let me get fresh. The show is about to go down. I got a call and he's like, what? The F word. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what has gone wrong now? It's like, you guys didn't even clear this artist. And he went to North. And then I knew that we had it. And then Sam was driving to go pick up his. He got there, he had to try and explain. So Zinhle was given this yellow paper. I think the guys in immigration, she's not cleared to perform. That was one thing. And we had to go and pay for the clearances while she's still there. And then
at the airport?
Yeah, at the airport. Because when she landed, they told us straight up, your papers are not in place. And we are obligated to send you back. And Zinhle at that time, I don't think she was as mature as she is right now. She was very fussy, she went totally off. And then now, we had to get more like an application plus an invoice for us to go back to Bulawayo to come and pay immigration. And then we drove.
This was on Saturday, Friday. What day?
It was a Saturday. It was a Saturday. It was around 11 o'clock. Yeah, it was the early flight. So we drove. Then we got there, we paid. Then we had to drive back to the airport and submit that. And they had to tell them, these people didn't do their job. it's not, they don't have a problem with her coming in. Now when she was when the artist was already sour, even when we picked her up, she didn't even want to go to the venue. She just said, just take me straight to the hotel. You guys will tell me when I'm supposed to play. And then even when we picked her up when she was going to play, she just did her set. And then they thought, I know what, everything has gone well. We go back to the hotel. She didn't want even to chill or to nothing. She just wanted to go to the hotel. And early in the morning, because she thought we were not so organized, she actually used her own taxi to go to the airport. Job, how's it going to you? Hey, she drove herself to the airport. So when we got there to try and pick up where Zinhle has checked out. So we're like, maybe what? Let's just follow. Then and go see what was the problem. We find that she's written this book about Mandela, and she's not paying attention to us. Very like we're bothering her. So that we just said our goodbyes, 3 minutes, gone. Then we went our separate way. But funny enough, this is the same artist that we brought in more than how many times? 4 times?
4 times.
Hey, or so.
Yeah.
But she was our first artist. And she's always been our winning formula. We never go wrong with Zinhle. Okay. Every time we do Zinhle, it's money in the bank.
It's money in the bank.
Yeah.
Which is the most memorable show?
Which would involve Zinhle? The last show we did when we were leaving Horizon. When we were coming. When we're now setting up, so the last all white with Zinhle, it was sometime in December. That was well attended. It was huge. I think that was with Zinhle, that was the last. Yeah, that was.
Are we talking about?
She actually had fun because we are now understood that Zinhle doesn't like to hang out to hang around men the most. So if you want her to warm up, you have to bring ladies.
Okay.
So we knew. So now we had to get these girls to have t-shirts written Zinhle and get people who enjoy fashion, makeup and stuff. We drove with them. So when she landed, we just pushed the girls in front. One time she connected with the girls. So she was chilled. Even when she came for the show, after the show at Horizon, she was taking pictures. She was hanging out. She even took up the dress code. She was even wearing all white as well. So it was fun. It was alright.
Okay.
Yeah, we finally got an angle. yeah.
Because I remember there are some shows that I covered, but 3D has organized. One of them, the show where I was scared the most. I've been to Baba Field, I've been to Dynamos versus Highlanders, there's violence and all. But that show, Black Motion, I have never been this scared. I was with a guy called Farai from work. We were watching them when everything went down. We went up, there's some stairs up there. That's why we watched everything happen. How did you manage to get those guys back on stage? 1, 2, let's go back and tell us what happened before.
Right. That show in particular, it was too hyped up. I think they one of their hottest shows, and we took things for granted. I opened a ticket for $50 as a start. So that 50 rand ticket. So a lot of people bought that 50 rand ticket, which was a mistake on our part. And then Hartsfield as a venue is not very convenient for shows because it's very porous. There's so many areas that people can use to jump in. So a lot of people jumped in, which was also another issue. So it was oversubscribed. So having an oversubscribed show, yes, everything is pushing, it's nice, but you realize that it's very close to tilting, especially if it's oversubscribed, which is normally a problem with most of our gigs. We never anticipate the number of people that come. We always have a problem. So that time now there are too many people. Our barricade is very weak, which is a start. So it's porous, meaning even people are not authorized to be there at the gig. They've managed to come in, hence which are thieves. So they were actually on duty. So so now the show is going on. I've tasked a friend of mine to go pick up the artist. You know, there come a time where you know which now it's time for the act. Anything else, people don't want. And if you try something else, things can go north. And I've told my friend, would a guy go pick up the artist? And it was just after 11. And the guy just has to drink and keep going on with his parties and all that stuff. And then next thing, I'm realizing, bruh, now it's bad. I'm calling him. I'm downstairs. I'm behind the stage. And the guy is saying, I can't drive out. It's too bad. And I'm like, make moves, bruh. Things are now it's getting, it's getting out of hand. Quickly, he rushes, he gets there, he finds Umberta. One of the artists is still sleeping.
Just one.
Yeah, no, he's the DJ. The diva one.
Yeah.
That other one doesn't matter. Even if he can just get up and then he goes. So they said, no one told us anything, no one was communicating. So they started bathing, shower. So we had to drag the certain sets to try and tell people so that we can build up to the act. By the time they came, the people were close to being frustrated. And then now these guys were trying to warm up, do their rituals, which I can't say on camera. And now, Crazy Black, my DJ, who's also the MC, he was meant to just keep hyping people up to say the emotion is about to perform, the emotion is about to get on stage. Then he decided to put another DJ.
What's that?
Crazy D.
Crazy D, yes.
The moment he did that, the available bottles came flying. They came flying. So when the bottles came flying, the police had dogs. So they went in front of the barricade. So when they went in front of the barricade, they pushed the dogs to the people. So the people pushed back. So when they pushed back now, you're looking at maybe 3,000 to 4,000 people, let me assume. And then they all push back. So obviously the sound that will fall is these people are pushing back because they're trying to run away from the dogs. So now when they came again, because they push, if they're pushed back, you always want to push going forward again. So when they pushed, coming forward, they lifted up that whole barricade, pushing the stage.
What do you think?
I was watching everything, and I was right in the motion. I was like, I've never, every time I always think, I may never get to this point. By that time I could feel it, okay, so this is where I am. And everyone has run away from the stage. The DJ's Crazy Black has already been hurt. He was hit by a bottle, and then everyone is hiding. Black Motion, they tried to get on stage. They noticed that the bottles and stones were flying, so they ran out. They jumped off the stage. They ran to the car that that had brought them in.
Okay.
And then now there's no one by the stage. And then I knew that, at the end of the day, what has to happen, because it's my key. So I got up on stage, I picked up the mic, I looked for an MC, and then I had to find Joe. And then thank God, Joe the OG. There was Zuma Fusan, and then I'm like, Joe, please come here. And then he's like, why is come here? Because I had no one else, man, they just come here. And then I'm like, can you please calm people down? There's no other way, because you need to talk to these people and tell them to calm down and ask the police not to harass the people and just calm down and let's have a show. And then Jordan just hit from behind the stage. He started talking to people slowly and then trying to tell people to calm down, like Motion is coming back on stage and stuff like that. Meanwhile, Joe was talking to the people, then I went behind and I went and talked to those guys. I told them, guys, we've paid you and there's no way that you guys are not going to perform. Like, I said, the people calm down. It's the police that they hate, they don't hate you. And you just have to come back on stage. And then they're like, you're putting our lives at risk. Actually, not even the people. I'll go on stage with you guys. If the bottles fly, then I'll take the bottles first. But I knew that the people wanted to perform this. So when they went back, and then everything, they actually performed when people could even touch their shoes, which is something that never happens.
Yes.
Yeah, but their set was short, unlike the previous time.
Minutes, I think.
Yeah, they were feeling unsafe.
Yeah.
They just performed a bit and then they went.
I remember that thing. My heart was racing. Now
I saw a lot. I saw girls screaming. I saw them being robbed of their phones.
That's what I was seeing.
I
was like, okay, people are angry about the delay of the show. But what's that guy doing? Grabbing. I could see a guy going into somebody's pocket.
Yeah, that was crazy. And things they capitalize on such. They need that chaos.
Yeah.
It works as a distraction. So That's when I literally rolled out. If you realize this was the last time we ever did a show in Africa, I noticed that this place is not ideal.
Good idea.
Big shows, yeah.
Your first show was which one?
Here.
Yeah.
It was Cassper.
Oh, Cassper.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember. Cassper
when we were fighting. No. Yes, the Winky TT. When it was that xenophobia thing.
Exactly. That's like a recording show that day.
It was
something else.
There's always challenges. You believe that day there was a breaker that was faulty and you couldn't tell. And we had to run around for a good 20 minutes while people were also getting agitated. Kids. And we couldn't tell because it was faulty, but the knob was still up. Up until someone pushed it down and pushed it up again. It's like, no, this is the thing that's bent. Okay. And we didn't even have an electrician. And you learned now. You now need to have an electrician
to check out everything.
Yeah, and on standby. It's necessary. You need to have an electrician on standby. You need to have the fire brigade
on standby.
All those things are necessary.
How hard is it to organize shows in Zimbabwe?
It's very hard, especially if you don't have the money, because it's very costly. I don't want to lie. It requires a lot of money. Minimum that you can pay on just clearances, taxes in general, is 2,000 US. Not talking about flights, accommodation, artist fee, stage, venue, sound, marketing. Just that 2,000 package that has to go to the ground.
So how did you guys bring black coffee? I remember black coffee was agonizing.
It was cheap then.
But he was here again.
Yeah, and when he came again, it was still affordable. Yeah. So would you believe that we paid 15,000 for the first time? Yeah, 15,000 rands.
Oh, I remember that was
when he came the first time.
There was a cancellation.
Yeah.
The first one.
It was this we brought it the first time. It was clean. We wanted to bring it the second time. The second time was when he cancelled when he was in Twitter. And all my life I used to think I'll never cancel the show. Why cancel an event? You just have to do your things right. And we had done everything right. We had cleared the artist, we had paid everything, we had done everything right. And then, so I'm picking up my boys. I used to stay in Northern, where all the boys from the team, they used to stay in Northern. When I pick up the boys and I'm like, we're going to set up the coffee today, it's on. Because the previous night we had done judgment. Yeah, so it was a hectic night. So it done well, people came to support, all good.
It was what?
21.
Judgment was 21.
Oh yes, 21. 22 was the coffee. But normally our date is 21. We normally bring the foreign eggs. So yeah, then we get a call from Omar, the coffee manager. And I noticed that guy never used to call us, was the road manager. Why is Omar calling me? It was around 10 when they're supposed to be checking in. And he tells me that before 10, we're in a small airport and small aircraft and this thing won't take off. And unfortunately, this is where we are. And I'm like, I'm stammering. I'm not getting what he's trying to tell me. And I'm starting to panic because I could feel my hands are shaking and I'm like, what are you trying to say? What are you saying? It's like, yeah, man, it's a problem. When you're 10 minutes, you're supposed to have flown to Joburg to connect with your flight in Cassper. But unfortunately, they don't take off. That's what I'm saying. And I'm like, let me see what I can do. And I think Omar knew at that time that there's nothing that I could do. And then I drove to Euphonik, which is where we had done our booking. I found that the guys were closed and it was a holiday. And there was a ceremonial thing that was going on in Cassper. So a lot of people were attending that. So very few help, we couldn't get help much. And now I'm calling everyone that I know. So I called the guy who did the booking for me, and he's in Tira on holiday. And he's like, my guy, this person has to be on that flight. Other than that, there's no flow. If he misses that flight, I can't see anything. That's it for me. So obviously the check-in time gone. Done and dusted, there's no stone. So now I'm trying to get him to Joburg. At least maybe he can get a later flight because it's December. So he might get a flight. So So there was one that you could get in around 4. So that was the one that I was chasing. But I think those guys really they told themselves they're not coming. And nothing worked out. And around 5 I had to cancel the show. But a lot of people had already gotten the message. Something is not right here. And it was hard, for a promoter, those are your wins. You can't cancel a show, or you can't lie to the people, because that's where you make your money. From when you send an advert, people have to buy in to know that this guy, when he says this is happening, it's happening, and he doesn't lie and falsely advertising it. So that's what I was trying to try and fight for, to say I'm one of those promoters. If I don't have an event, I don't have an event. But if I say I'm doing this, I'm doing it. It tends to happen. But that day I had to type a message to cancel. It was another one. But funny enough, the hype was already out there. People came, people had a good time. It was a full house. But we did bring it though. Sometime in May. It was December, then following May, he came.
It was not here.
No, it was
Horizon.
So we brought coffee about 3 times. And then we brought him the last time here. But here, this is where we made a mistake. Because Black Coffee was willing to have a contract with us, and we were supposed to fly to Nyovest and meet some guys from Zinhle, which were the ones that we came out to these African tours and stuff. And we didn't do it. He told us straight up, talk to Omar, you guys fly in, come talk to guys from Red.
So there'll be a regular tour here.
They can then do something annually. And we're thinking, we thought we always book the guy. Whenever we want.
That's big.
Now it's hard. The last time we tried to book we were transferred to some office in Angola. One of the ones that are handling bookings here in Africa. And then they said that they can only do that. Africa is not a jungle tour. So roughly you get R500,000. But he doesn't come alone, he doesn't want to do this alone. So this is what you're looking at. And then the previous year we tried to book using this other lady who was there in his office. And lady told me straight up, it's like, he's got so many commitments in Europe. And whenever you want to have this artist, it will cost you a lot of money. I don't want to lie to you. Wait for him when he comes to Africa. And then I'm like, okay, when is he coming to Africa? It's like, just look for the dates that he's performing in the essay. Just get your people to come. And I'm like, no, we want him here. Yes, him. And they're like, that one is too close to being impossible. Because he now plans his own events. And so he's already planned events. But I thank God for it. In a way. Because now the artists are more open to, these new arrangements. Because it kind of like to step to their passion. So right now you can actually talk to properly, if things open up, you can then engage them.
So, out of these artists that you have worked with all these years, like Coffee, Vlog, Fresh, Black Motion, who else? Cassper, Liquid Deep, Winky D. Who is Sjava?
Sjava is Sjava.
Who can I say is the most difficult? Who's a diva?
The most difficult was Sjava. Sjava was the most difficult because the way he sings this love song, you think that he's as laughing and soft as his music, but he's very hip hop, And when he came, we were late. Actually, before then, we had booked a flight that they were supposed to land as early as the usual time, 12 midday. And then 2 days before, then the manager called me. She's like, no, Sjava cannot fly on the times that you want him to fly in. Unfortunately, he's got an event, so it has to be a later flight. So, which we had a loss, but we had, because we had already committed, we had to get another flight, which was later. So that flight was a problem because it was no longer SAA or Zin. I think it was Fastjet, if I'm not mistaken, but it was later. He was supposed to land around 7 p.m. And then when they were that side, the manager then sends me a message, the road manager. He was like, my guy, it looks like there's bad weather. They just informed us that there could be a possibility of cancellation. And it's around the time that they should be jetting in, I think it was around 7. And I'm getting that message, and I'm alone because it comes as a text with an essay now. And I'm seeing the setup that we've done, the investment that is gone in, and it's crazy. I mean, and I kept to myself. I didn't tell anyone. You know, I just went behind EPAC, so the event, and then I just sat by myself and I was thinking, I can't go to this thing again.
Black coffee again.
Yeah, and I'm thinking this time from the number of people that are here.
Can you black coffee? I saw about Mdue.
I mean,
from Devil, yeah?
Black coffee, he was in Joburg.
No, it's from Devil.
Yeah,
Sjava is from Devil.
Exactly.
What do was from Devil.
Different people. And then now I'm thinking, okay, wait, let me wait. No, let me wait. Let me not tell anyone this thing. Let me just wait, let me hear. And then and when I open the message, like, it looks like we're cleared to take off. Okay, cool. And then they delayed. So these guys, the whole thing was delayed. So when they got to the airport now, they were carrying their equipment. So the guys were seeing that they were also on another level. Our airport doesn't even exist, but they're using our torch and they're busy telling this calculating equipment artists. So you need to take about 5,000.
Yes,
yeah, 5,000 that we're supposed to pay. And then we will get a refund. You see RTGs, when they were now going back, when they didn't leave the equipment behind. It's more like a treat or something like that. So now they are there at the airport. We asked another host of our hotel time. Sometimes they're calling this like, these guys at the airport, it's just impossible. This is what they do. And I'm looking at the event and I'm realizing what time is moving. We're now way after 12 midnight, which is when people expect to see what the artist, right? Hey, 0. Hey. Now I'm saying, okay guys, listen, take pictures to show the people that this guy is here, is at the airport. Just take whatever picture that you can. The 2 pictures and send them to us. Yeah, WhatsApp, then we upload them, we put them on the screens. And then people now were dancing, sing that, so the artist is arrived. So the MC also announced that no Sjava just left the airport and he's coming through. Okay, now cool. So I'm like, alright, so let's get the 5,000, let's get it from the ticket subscription. We tried, then we just pay. And then, you know what, if it's a loss, but this is Sjava coming through. So when we had collected the money, I was actually the one driving. I think I just passed Picket group at Comway, that garage. They all my way to the airport. Then I got a message from the time. They said, no, they've cleared us. They said that we should be the artist can come. I said, okay. Now, Sjava really is not even interested in taking pictures. It doesn't even want people posting whatever the case is. But they failed to take like an up-close picture. So they had to wait for him to come out and then there's that whole arrival thing and then they take a picture, which is the one that they also sent to us to really prove that the guy is actually. So he gets to BAC. So I'm thinking, so right, you realize really it's way after 1, right? The time has gone and people are now agitated and anxious. So let's just get on with the show. The guy decides to go and do his rituals. And put 20 minutes. Doing his thing. So she said, hey, I'm waiting. And you know, this time I'm now really up to here because you know that anticipation of hearing violence and people doing stuff.
Like bullshit.
Yeah, and coming back and I'm thinking, so the guy comes back. And now he's coming back, I'm thinking, now so sharp. Now he wants to tell someone to get I think they shoot off the back. And then he gets that. He goes back again. I'm telling you, come on, what was that? And the guy goes back and I'm thinking, I'm sure you are actually when he's in this position. So it's not just a another training. Now he comes back and then everyone is asking for pictures. Like, oh, he was loud pictures, man. Oh, those things. And you know, you would think this Sjava was picking his Zulu and cheesy boy, cheesy last number. Like, oh, people love pictures, man. And then I'm like, okay, cool. And then the other city, this boy is staging. So, like, all set. The guy gets the mic, speaks the one. He's like, no, this is not enough sound. So then call the boys, hey, gents, sort out the sound. This guy saying it's not enough sound. Grabs the mic again. Na. Drops the mic, it's not the sound. He walks back. He stands like this. And I'm thinking, so what I understood was, like, I call the guy, so like that. Put everything on board. Fulani this thing. So Chuma can figure me easy. He comes back, he grabs the sound. I'm thinking the guy is moving. I said no. He drops the mic again. Now he goes and just sits at the couch by himself. So I give the mic to the MC to like say something, to the people and say, are you ready for Sjava? Until he's happy with the sound. So they keep increasing, trying to move. I think he felt bad on his like, okay, let me just get up. Then he got out, made him Sjava, gave him the mic before the new performance. But that moment on its own, they didn't even go to the hotel. They just finished late, so they had to go check in the first flight out because he had a commitment as well the very same day. So he didn't even see him or anything. He performed, they ate, they drove back to the airport.
So, back to life. Let's talk father.
Yeah.
Tell us about father. Now it's father.
It came very late for me. That didn't happen actually, so very late. 38 when I was introduced to being a father. But I think it came at a point where I'm now matured and I'm slowing down. And I love my kids with all my heart. I can spend the day with them. It has brought a sense of stability. You know, when you now know that you're independent, you just don't do things the way you would be. I used to enjoy violence, but the moment you a lot of things changed. Yeah, I used to stand for myself. Even my boys knew if they asked for it, I would never call for answers or anything. Yeah, you'll find me right there in the middle of it. But the time that I knew that I was becoming a father, all these things, they just fall away. You just find yourself, away from such things. Just what? Because you've just been thinking, what if I grow up? My kids grow knowing that my father doesn't have an eye, what are they? So things like that,
And for what you said before, you grew up with a single mom and then a stepfather. How did that, did you have any void in your life? Because you didn't have a father, maybe father figure, then maybe the stepfather came in and stepped in.
I was never close to my stepdad, honestly. But my mom, because I was raised by two, my mom and a sister. And her sister is still alive, but she's also she's the one who played also a bigger role in my life. And she tried by all means to fill up that void. I never really went on to pick up my father or anything. And I also had my uncle who was amazing. Uncle Mdlongwa, the musician. He was there for me when I needed most of this, father talks and stuff. So I never really missed that much, I think.
So does that translate to how you relate with your kids right now?
Yeah,
Or how you want to be a father?
Exactly. Yeah. I think I want to be there. You know. Unfortunately, my father died, but I resent men that don't want to spend time with their kids. You know, I miss my kids when they're not there. So I don't know how other men do it, but I would want to be there for my kids. You know, with their first steps and everything, just to be there for them. Yeah.
And then also, what I want to find out, okay, maybe it's the last part in this interview where you are going to ask me 2 or 3 questions. What you want to know from me, not being something that me I'm asking you questions. But I think what is important for every male child is to try to be a better person, a better father than the father that they had. Although maybe some of them do not have a template for that, but the imagined father, you want to be better. Is that the same case for you?
Yeah, I think I'm more in tune from what my mom taught me, you know, to be a good man. So a good man takes care of his children. So it's how it is. I have to be a provider. I have to be a loving father, and I have to show them the ropes, you know. So that's basically how I want to give them a better future. And you know, the mistakes we did, yeah, we did that. It doesn't mean they have to go through it. And even if we did some wrongs, it doesn't mean they have to do the same thing. They have to do the right thing.
And this is the opportune time you can ask me
Yeah.
1 or 2 questions.
Yeah. Which one has been the best show that we've hosted? Because you've always been on the sideline.
Best show.
Where you said Arapana Mdue, you enjoyed it. It was spot on. All of them, whether big or small.
No, I'm just thinking now. Because there's one show I was with colleagues. I'll tell you off camera what we did. Black Motion. Black Motion I did here twice.
The first one was clean. That one was
The first clean one.
The first
that one,
I
Black
also
Motion.
enjoyed.
I enjoyed that one. Black Motion and Black Coffee. And I forgot. When you hosted the Bulawayo
Music Carnival.
Carnival, there I enjoyed those.
Yeah.
There I
Finally, something that
or any show with Winky.
Yeah, well, you can never follow Manager. But you notice when we hosted that event, Nyovest Music Carnival, that was the opportunity for Bulawayo to stand up, even companies to come in and endorse that. Because we ran that event twice and we were running losses. But we wanted to also show that we also have this interest of bringing this people. But I'm happy that when Black Arts Awards came along, they seemed like they managed to get an endorsement to get this. But that Music Carnival never really get the recognition. That's why
I was with some guys who were asking, where are these people? Are they radio stations or what? Maybe if you do it now, probably there will be more.
It will have a better impact to get some endorsements because everything was through our own resources from the stage, sound, security. It was
Maybe if
it didn't come like financial.
Then you maybe you bit off more than that. You started off big. Why didn't you just make it smaller?
But now the problem was the artists felt like they deserved that type of platform because they said that we've been doing this for South African acts. So we didn't want to shortchange them. We wanted them to get the same platform. Let's see, right? You're saying do busy with South African artists and Harare artists. Let's do it here at home. Let's give you guys that same platform. Let's see.
What do you think made it that less profitable or not profitable for you guys? What do you think happened?
I think generally, a lot of people don't really support their own. Let's use that term. In as much as we had given them a lavish stage, you saw, we did everything as though we were putting for a foreign act, but the support was not as at the same time, what we then went on to do was that we were giving the artists the tickets to sell to their following, and we told them, okay, that's your money. So the money that we will get, Tina, as promoters, is the one that people pay by the gate. So now they're the ones that problem. You see, not so many people came to pay by the gate. So those that came were those who were coming to support the artists, whether they were given for free the tickets or they paid to donate.
Okay. Because there's always an assumption maybe, or what I'll look at. I don't know if this is something that is true for me. Is when a song is popping. Right now we're talking about Amapiano. When a song is popping, I come to Chisanya, I hear it. Crazy, like we play it. Then go to Daisy, I hear Crazy Daisy. No Spa, Tuchin, Crazy. I go to Cosmo, same thing. Go to Cruise, same thing. But if a song maybe pops on our range, I've heard so many songs on our radio stations, guys, Metro and Fulmani FM. But I won't hear it in the clubs. Why?
Because of their marketing team is not aggressive. When I believe a good song is a good song, it will catch up with people. But find that all these guys produce music, they just put it online, but they don't have an aggressive marketing team. You need to have someone who pushes your music. Who come through carrying a flash and is waiting for the DJ. He asks, but I will please play our song. Even he comes early, he looks for that resident DJ. Hey, show me after a new song. Plays our song. Can you please play? Listen to it. Tell us where it fits in. If it's a piano track, can you also play it who set you up? You know? And the DJ will say yes or no. Like, it's rather he says no. And then he comes to a person like me who owns a bar and says, speaking for you to support the local, but you didn't. Your DJs are refusing to play our song. But I've never heard someone say that to me. Since I've opened up with anxiety, I've never heard someone who says, I came with my song or a song from my artist, I asked the DJ to play and they didn't play. I've never heard that. I also promoted EAC. I've never heard that coming where someone says, rather people do want to play our song. I've never heard anyone say that.
So what tips should you give artists?
They should have an aggressive marketing team. Someone who push their music. How should they get their music into the streets? Yeah, they should bring their music into the streets. If like with Dala, they will give it to the taxi guys and they say, hey my guy, play the song. It's okay. But now seeing that his music is played to one clubs, why can't they bring them up plastics? They wait until that guy plays the song. Next week he comes back again. He waits until you play his track. Yeah. And if you know that you produce something good, it's a good track, it's a good track, you will catch on with people. 3-4 times your song is already out. Yeah. That's what I would say, but I've never seen anyone who does the work. I've never. Someone who come and wait, go simulate your right J, but have you ever seen anyone do that? Only thing that they do is when they put big acts, that's when they step up. They have got this banging tune now to perform. Guy, but all this time before we were bringing in someone who's already it's a business. It's not like we're doing this not to get a humanitarian gain. It's a business. So then I'm a bit stiff because I'm worried. Can I try your product to people for the first time? Why should I do that? I risk everything over someone and I'm trusting because anything can go wrong. You can actually mess up my show. You jump up on stage, you start performing artist stuff you've never performed on stage before. Even to grow, to understand the growth of getting to a point where you can now perform to 2,000 to 3,000 people. You've never done that. You just want to start Konapo when I'm hosting 4,000 rowdy people. How is that possible? I can lose the entire lighting, everything can go. You know, and you jump on to take and you're still trying to force people to listen to your music. The next thing, so we are my boy here. Sure.
So it's about you It's about risking business. Everyone's got a business risk. It's hard to risk some of your business to a product that you do not sure.
You're not sure if you can't. You need to go with your generals when you're going for a big event. Someone that you know that you work with, and someone that understands what needs to be done at that moment. You can't do trial and error. You have to get in with seasoned people. When you tell him that you are playing commercial house, he knows what you mean. It means I'm playing hard commercial and I'm not experimenting. You know, if it's a performance and you see this person performing, you know that people will appreciate it. Because when I go into this as a business, you know the times. You know there are times when you know what this act won't do now anymore. Even if the artist is good, you know it right now you can't go on stage and perform. You will have problems. We've lost the moment, we'll try again another time. Right now what these people need, they need kwaito or hip hop or whatever, and the show everyone.
Which was your biggest loss?
Biggest loss. I think it was the black portion, the clean one.
The clean one?
Yeah, we didn't make money. The expenses are always high. No,
so, okay.
Even if the attendance is okay, we have flopped many times financially, but in the eyes of people, it seems like we have made it. But the finance side of things,
how much was it at that time?
I think we paid upon how much? I think 40,000.
And go and make 40,000 for beer sales.
No, but it's not only that. It's not only the artist fee, the entire budget. Find that you're breaking, you will meet about maybe 2,000 people paying $10 maybe something like that. So now even if you break in everything, then you notice that Kuma shows, most of the money has to come from the gate to cover the cost. Because they don't buy as much in a bar, Kuma shows.
So if you see 4,000 people, it doesn't mean that 4,000 people are buying out.
Exactly. And 4,000 of them maybe they even protein their own now. They're just getting so you might as well just try and get as much from the gate. So if the gate doesn't bring as much, so you're in trouble. Because you can actually have a bus and you're telling how much sports. Don't you put in maybe just 10,000, 200,000 grams.
Okay. 40th birthday, tell us. What's happening? What's going on?
Turning 40.
Big 40.
Life begins at 40. So they say, we'll see. But anyway, I'm hoping that we'll do a nice celebration for the people. We love people. So we'll do a nice celebration, maybe sport type beast, and then bring an artist. We'll see. So it's something that we can just be keeping in tabs. We'll see. But definitely we're celebrating. It's on the 16th of and the good thing, it falls on a Saturday. So even if no one wants to wish me a happy birthday, the notification in Facebook is a wow. It's Saturday. Wow. Yeah.
So what is Mdue celebrating 40 years? What is he celebrating? Personal?
Personal, I'm celebrating just in perfect health, you know. And that's the most. And thanking God that I'm still alive. And I'm still here to see the goodness. That's basically it. I'm celebrating perfect life, you know. I haven't really reached my capital to say I've made it. I'm still hoping one day I can sit and look at what I've done and say this is good, but I'm not yet doing it.
No, thanks very much for your time. Yeah, just have fun here at Chisayam.
Yeah. So it's time for us to drink. Yes, my favorite drink.
So we'll see you next time, and cheers guys, cheers.
All right.